As the year draws to a close, a variety of new performances are hitting the stage, giving audiences numerous choices to enjoy. Today, we'll discuss noteworthy works to watch out for before the end of the year with Professor Chie Hye-won at Kyung Hee University. Welcome back, Professor Chie.
Hello, Professor.
Hello, good afternoon.
So it looks like December is the busiest time of the year in the performing arts scene, and this year anticipation is especially high because of a wave of new premieres hitting the stage. So what's the significance of this timing?
Right, that's right. The time of the year is the most peak season in performing arts. So the end of the year with Christmas and New Year's Eve is a busy time for everyone, but it's also a time when people want to see and the performing arts and they make good memories with their family and friends. So this December, I am especially excited to see some new theatrical works being presented for Korean theater goers for the first time. So compared to many famous shows that have already been successful in Korea, releasing a relatively unknown new work is both a matter of great anticipation and a huge burden as well. So in that sense, I especially support a new work that are premiering in Korea and being shown to the public for the first time.
So let's go into the details of those works. First off, the original musical Man in Hanbok. This is drawing huge attention because of its large scale and star-studded cast. So tell us more about what kind of work this is.
Yeah, the new musical, A Man in Korean Costume, or Hanbok. 한복 입은 남자 is based on the novel of the same name, which was written by Lee Sang-hoon and published in 2014. So this is a historical fantasy that tells the story of Jang Yeong-sil, the famous scientist of Joseon dynasty, who suddenly disappeared from Joseon and then crossed the sea to settle in Italy, where he meets the young Leonardo da Vinci and influences his talent to him. So this musical is as the EMK Musical Company's 10th original musical. A Man in Hanbok is going to effectively portray the contrasting aesthetics of East and West. So the first act is set in Joseon, while the second act is set in Europe. So showcasing both Joseon aesthetics and the Renaissance European sensibilities. So the famous musical actors Park Eun-tae, Jeon Dong-seok, and Go Eun-sung will play double roles as Jang Yeong-sil and Kang Bae, the scholar who pursues the truth, and Kai Shin-seong-rok and Lee Kyu-young will play also the double roles of Sejong-daewang and documentary director Jin-seok in the show. So the new musical, A Man in Hanbok, will be performed at Chungmu Art Center from December 2nd to March 8th.
Sounds very interesting.
I know, especially with the collaboration of Joseon and the Europe Renaissance period. Very excited. And the story of this real-life figure like Jang Yeong-sil in the play or in those performances, along with imaginative storytelling, is quite captivating, and it's definitely gaining attention overseas as well. So what kind of appeal and potential do you see in these styles of original musicals?
Yeah, that's right. I think A Man in Hanbok will be interesting enough to the international audiences as well, as it depicts the overlapping histories of Korea and Italy and the intersection of two characters we are already familiar with. So actually, the entire story was inspired by a real-life painting by Rubens called A Man in Korean Costume. So the author's imagination, which penetrates the contemporary historical figures, will stimulate the curiosity both domestic and international audiences, I think. Moreover, with the works like K-pop Demon Hunters increasing global interest of Hanbok and Korean traditional culture itself, I believe A Man in Hanbok is also likely to get significant global attention as well.
I tried to kind of resemble a man in Hanbok today here.
Woman in Hanbok.
But Professor Chie, let's move over to the next production, the adaptation of the novel Life of Pi on stage, which received Tony and Olivier Awards, received a lot of attention overseas. And now the Korean premiere is coming out also on December 2nd. So please tell us more about this work and what aspects, have already drew attention abroad before.
Right, the stage version of Life of Pi is also based on a novel adapted from the Man Booker Prize winning novel and then adapted it into a film of the same name. So the stage version was swept major awards since its premiere in 2019, including 3 Tony Awards and 5 Olivier Awards such as Best Play, Best Direction, and Best Acting. So Life of Pi depicts the 227 days of Pi, a young boy left on a lifeboat in the middle of Pacific Ocean, and Richard Parker, a Bengal tiger. So the stage version captivates audiences with its amazing stage design, reproducing the nature wonders depicted in the original novel and the visual spectacles seen on the screen. So especially puppetry in particular is astonishing, imbuing animal characters with a lifelike presence on stage. The puppeteers' performances and lifelike the movement of the puppets provide an incredible moments that can be experienced only at the theater. So the Korean production of Life of Pi will be held at the GSR Center from December 2nd, the next week.
And this Korean premiere of Life of Pi on stage is definitely getting a great attention here in Korea as well. Not only for the design, like the stage design or the direction, but also for actors as well, as I did actually report yesterday in K Entertainment segment. So what can we expect?
Right, the Life of Pi stars Park Jung-min, one of the famous actors at this moment, especially. So he is returning to the stage 8 years after his performance in Shakespeare in Love in 2017. So while he is already recognized for his solid performances in many films and series, Park Jung-min's special stage of Good Goodbye with Hwasa at the last week's Blue Dragon Film Awards garnered even more attention. And famous theatrical actor Park Kang-hyun is also stars as Pi in the theater. So I can say that it must not have been easy at all for the actors to portray the character of Pi, who is left alone in the vast ocean and desperately struggles for survival with the Bengal tiger Richard Parker. So I'm sure that it is work that inevitably requires the actors to put a lot of emotional and physical effort. So as these two actors have already proven their character creation and excellent acting skills through many films and stages and medias, so I'm so looking forward to seeing these two actors play the same role on stage.
Well, I was very impressed by the novel as well as the film, so I can't wait to watch this on stage as well. And I'm also glad that you really mentioned Park Kang-hyun as well, not only Park Jung-min, because the attention is a lot on Park Jung-min right now, but Park Kang-hyun really is one of the famous musical actors right now. So yes, I might be watching both versions.
Me too.
Now, Professor Chie, the interest in Korean performances is also steadily growing overseas. So are there any works that are currently being released?
Recently, there has been an the increasing number of Korean musicals entering to the overseas market. One of them is musical Hongyeon, which was presented at the Shanghai Grand Theater from October 23rd to the November 9th. This is an original musical that combines the traditional Korean tales 장화 홍련 and 바리대기, and the Chinese version was produced as the replica productions through the collaboration between Chinese actors and the Korean original creative staff. Additionally, the Korean Arts Management Services K-Musical Roadshow was held in 2 cities this year, Tokyo and New York. And while several Korean original musicals are introduced there, including 오지게 재밌는 가시나들 and Let Me Fly. So since Maybe Happy Ending, which premiered in Korea and then transferred to Broadway, winning 6 Tony Awards, interest in Korean musicals has grown significantly in overseas market as well, and opportunities to reach out to broader audiences are expanding as well.
And finally, Professor, other than the performances that you've introduced today, are there any other performances that's worth checking out this winter?
Of course. With the end of the season upon us, many performing arts productions are attracting many audiences. So Seoul Metropolitan Musical Theater, 서울시 뮤지컬단, will present the original musical A Christmas Carol based on the Charles Dickens novel of the same name at Sejong Center for the Performing Arts from December 5th to 28th. And also the Korean National Ballet and Universal Ballet Company will both present iconic Christmas season production Nutcracker. Additionally, musicals that have already been loved by many audiences such as Kinky Boots, Moulin Rouge, Beetlejuice, Death Note, and Rent return to the theater once again and attract the audiences this year. So, and even more, actually. So many other performances awaiting audiences at the theater this winter. So I hope that you will make wonderful and precious memories at the theater in this December.
And I know who's going to watch the Nutcracker.
Oh, I was just going to say,
Bella
yes.
is watching that one almost every
year with my sister. That's kind of like our sister tradition. So yes, I'm definitely going this year as well.
That's why we need new productions, but also those ones.
Classic
ones,
yes.
All right, thank you very much, Professor Chie, for your insights today, and have a great last weekend of November, and see you next month.
See you next month.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Bella, as always. We're going to see you back next week, and that's also next month.
Yes, I'll see you back next week.